Hello, you got listen, I'm gonna give you all the opportunity to start coming into the room. I just wanted to get on for I needed to get on um just to chat with you guys. I know we chatted earlier and I had to get out and I'm just gonna see who's up. It's still fairly early. So yeah, I broke one of my nails today. I hate that so bad. 'Cause the color of my nails is so beautiful. I see three people up in here. Waiting for hey Michael. He said Miss T is me. Okay, Michael. Hey Kimberly. Hey Teresa. Um, we're gonna let other people start coming in. Just chatting. I will stay on for like what, maybe an hour. 'Cause y'all know me. Hey, what's that? Delquan? Delquan Newton. Hey, Von Mills, or is it Voss Mills? Hey, Eric. Positive Vibes. Joy Loves God. Voss. Okay. I said open conversation, but I don't know. I really think we should be talking about something of substance. Because I was just looking at some news. I actually was looking at some stuff as it relates to um as a matter of fact, maybe I will, I think this is something we need to talk about. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Y'all make sure y'all hit the logo. I said the logo. Lord, hit the like button. I'm just letting people come into the room, okay? While I hold on, you guys. I almost got it. Okay. Hold on, y'all. um I kind of wanted to, like I said, talk about something of some substance. As of course we always do. Hold on. We always talk about something of substance over here, okay? Okay. I wanted to talk about um and I really wish that you all would engage with me. I know this may not be a topic that everybody is ready for because even when I started talking about this, um, I started trying to talk about this about 10 years ago when I first started doing my TV show on Comcast. This is all I ever talked about was missing children um, and things of that nature, right? Missing children, people that were going missing, and especially people of color not getting the media attention. Although, when anybody of any race called me and their loved ones had gone missing without a trace, I did not hesitate to have them on my TV show to advertise it on my TV show to have their families on, right? Because I would never not give somebody exposure, especially if they have a child to go missing or a loved one to go missing under suspicious circumstances just because of their race, right? That would be absolutely ludicrous and barbaric of me to do that, right? But when I started talking about this about 10 years ago, I was actually doing other shows, just kind of interviewing politicians and all of that. And then I was like, I really want to just start delving and jumping into what is going on as it relates to kids and young girls and boys that are going missing. I had the community, especially my audience, which is a majority African American audience on TV around the Mid South area, calling me saying, Tamara, that's deep, that's depressing, that's scary. I really don't, that's too heavy. Like people was not really ready to talk about that, although it's affecting everybody's community as it relates to children being snatched up and things of that nature. Okay. So that's kind of something that I wanted to talk about tonight. What's happening to our children and young adults and things of that nature? Why are we not talking more about it? Why isn't that a conversation that we want to have? When I used to consistently share, I got burned out, because I this is something I did every day for many years. Um, when I got burned out, I mean, when I would share, pictures and get cases and start sharing pictures and things of that nature and cases on social media, and it's still like that to this day. You couldn't get anybody, okay, to hardly share it, right? And that happens to this very day. You cannot hardly get anybody to participate or share until it's knocking at their front door. And as I said 10 years ago, if we don't deal with this, it's going to be knocking at our front door, right? We're very quick to share things that don't matter, but we don't want to talk about this major issue that's going to only get better. So, what I've been seeing is that, I used to, when I first started doing this, I started thinking, I was like, dog, especially when I was working for the police department and I started to see like all of the intelligence that the government has, like, when I was working in the chief's office and I would see how, like, when they wanted something done, the type of expertise that they would bring in and they can get stuff done. So when I hear it's weird because when I hear them say, the black web and they don't know who these people are on the black web. I go, that's so not true. Like they can tap into anything. It's not like they would ever allow the community to create something and they can't figure it out, right? So that's why when you start seeing these computer experts or tech savvy people, they start tapping into like I guess what you would call very important people stuff. They're quickly able to trace it because everything is traceable, right? When they start to threaten a very high ranking politician's loved one or something, they start getting threatening phone calls or something like that, they are very quick to trace it because everything is absolutely traceable. So when I started trying to understand, why is it that they're not getting a hold of these young women that are going missing, these children and things of that nature, I started to figure out some more stuff, right? That I always talk about, it is important to vet politicians because oftentimes you get people that come together and get into these key positions so that they can perpetuate this sort of thing. I actually have sometimes involvement in it, some of them, and what they do is they quietly start changing laws to make it less stringent for people that actually participate in doing things of this nature, which means participating in trafficking rings and things of that nature. But what I've been seeing in the last few years is that I've started to see a lot of top people that have been involved in this type of stuff. They're starting to fall, right? They're starting to fall. Absolutely. They just got Abercrombie and Finch. That's what is it Finch or Fetch or whatever. And I want to show you all this because now what's going on is people that have been involved in this that have come from the very top. Okay. They are starting to take down. Okay. We know Abercrombie and Finch is a very rich man. His clothes are very expensive. I don't go into his store. It's too expensive. I'm not gonna pay $100 for a t-shirt that they just went and printed up some letters on, right? But I saw it says former Abercrombie and Finch CEO arrested for sex trafficking despite signed NDAs. Okay, so he got people to sign NDAs. They was talking bad about Puffy because they said Puffy was so arrogant he didn't get anybody to sign an NDA, but this man did, and he was just arrested. Okay, this is the former CEO of Abercrombie and Finch. Look at him. He get those injections in his face. It says Hollywood celebrity moguls and CEOs are panicking over the news that former Abercrombie and Finch CEO Mike Jeffries was arrested for sex trafficking. The former CEO of the popular clothing brand was charged with sex trafficking and interstate prosty. Prosecutors in the Eastern District of New York said on Tuesday. It says Jeffries made an initial court appearance in West Palm Beach on Tuesday afternoon after a brief hearing was released on a $10 million bond. Now, I guess Puffy trying to understand why this man could get a $10 million bond and he can't. Okay. Um, it says Magistrate Judge Bruce Weinhardt ordered Jeffries to serve home detention with GPS ankle monitoring. He cannot leave his house or travel out of state without approval. Now, we already know there ain't gonna really be no restrictions. If he want to go somewhere, he could pay the people off that's monitoring his bracelet, ankle monitor or whatever. I mean, he could pay them and retire them. He could pay them and retire them. Of course, they could. They're gonna let him do what he want to do. Here, the judge to be. He paid $10 million to get out, and he probably dropped the judge off another $10 million to give him a bond. Okay. It says he cannot leave his house or travel out of state. They said They said Jeffries is pictured partying in Saint Tropez in a photo in 2015. His fall from grace began when federal agents investigated a BBC News report that says Jeffries exploited men at sex parties he hosted. Allegations were made against Jeffries and Matthew Smith, his former romantic partner. The feds alleged that James Jacobson of Wisconsin was a recruiter for Jeffries and Smith, who operated an international sex trafficking and prostitute business from 2018. From 2008 to 2015. Shortly after the BBC report was published in 2023, Abercrombie and Finch Jeffries was sued for allegedly turning the blind eye to Jeffries' alleged misconduct. The news of their arrest came as a shock to his friends and associates because Jeffries was careful to make young men sign non disclosure agreements. They were also required to surrender their wallets and cell phones to attend private events where drugs and alcohol flowed freely. Jeffries, Smith, and Jacobson also allegedly recruited, hired, and paid household staff to facilitate and supervise the sex events. The staff provided Jeffries and the young men with muscle relaxants known as poppers, lubricants, Viagra, and condoms among their items. The men were paid for attending the parties, and the indictment says Jeffries, Jacobson, and Smith used burner phones to contact the young men. According to the indictments, the men were subjected to invasive SEXUAL and violent contact by body parts and objects. Jeffries, Jacobs, and Smith employed a full service security company to administer NDAs, conduct background checks, and, if necessary, intimidate victims, prosecutors alleged. On occasions when witnesses threatened to expose or sue them, Jeffries and Smith relied on their services of a security company to surveil and intimidate those individuals, thereby securing their silence, it said. Okay. So it seemed like to me this man has done the exact same thing. Abercrombie and Finch, ex-CEO, he's done the exact same thing that Puffy was doing, but he got a $10 million bond. Okay. But when I saw that, I was like, wow, I was like, it seemed like the House of Cards is starting to it seemed like to me that it's starting to hey Dominic, the cards are starting to crumble. Everything is starting to fall. And I think that that is a good thing, but the sad thing is, like, if when it starts to build back up, are they getting these people out of the way because they have a new breed of people that's younger and that's willing to be even more sick? Okay. Um, but it does seem like a lot of people are being exposed, but it is not taken away from so many of our children are going missing, each and every day. They are definitely targets. People are not ready for that conversation, because people are not on alert. They're not alert at all. When they have children and they go into the grocery stores, they don't know, because unfortunately, I don't like it that law enforcement don't really put it out into the atmosphere. That when people go into grocery stores, that's one of the places that these people that are involved in these human trafficking rings set up at. They have catalogs, right? And so what they do is they have rich people that are powerful, just like this man right here, that have a fetish for, unfortunately, a fetish for children, underage kids. And so the catalog is, they will tell somebody who is one of the is involved in these human trafficking rings, that is an abductor. Okay, I want for her, my child, I want the child that you go get, I want them to have a caramel color. I want them to have curly hair. I want them to have brown eyes. Um, and I want them to be bow leg or something like that, right? But here's the thing, I want them to be no older than 11 years old, okay? So you have people that are in human trafficking rings, that's what they do all day. So they go sit in parking lots, they go sit over across from schools, and they have these catalogs because the person would tell them, okay, if you can get a child that looks like this person is willing to pay $250,000. So that's why you have these people, they go from travel from when they talk about there's a hub, they consistently move, right? That's why some years back in St. Louis, these young women were all around the same age, right? They were adults, but they were in their early 20s. They were all around the same age, had the same build, had the same complexion, the same weight. They were similar, and the ones that they got came from the same area. That's because they have these catalogs and they have these guys that go, okay, that's that girl right there fits the description of what's in one of these catalogs, and they get about abducting these girls, right? These children, right? And so, like I said, it's unfortunate that this is not a conversation for some reason that we don't want to have, although we're all directly affected, right? If you have children, if you have grandchildren, nieces and nephews, and things of that nature, you know. And the sad part about it is that in the African American community, the African American children or the children of color don't get the media coverage. They may talk about it for 10 seconds one time on the news, right? Oh, such and such, this child has gone missing. If anybody has seen this child, call 528 cash or something like that, and then it's over, right? No more coverage at all. Only that 10 seconds. Okay, no more coverage, right? So that's why I say that that's why I'm very passionate about our children getting the coverage also that a Natalie Hollowell got. Somebody, I believe it was Hilda, that was saying earlier that Natalie Hollowell's parents had the money, was very, very rich. Okay, so and that's why they was consistently getting the coverage. That's so not fair, and we let media sources, especially main media sources, get away with that, as if because of somebody is of a certain status, parents are of a certain status, their child is more important than any other child. Absolutely not, right? Absolutely not. But that is exactly what's going on. That's why I say, it's getting worse. The numbers are consistently going up. I get to thinking about a lady named Kiva that now lives. She's from Memphis, but she's been living in Atlanta for many years. And I can remember when I had my From Pain to Purpose, my first From Pain to Purpose conference, probably back in 2015. I didn't really know how bad it was because Kiva and them were like boots on the ground, right? And Kiva came to my conference and she was talking about how they had people with boots on the ground that always went to like the what do they call those football games when what is it called, like the last game that everybody loves? Y'all help me out. It's called the it's almost like the finale of the football. What is it called? Super Bowl. Okay. And she was talking about how they had like boots on the ground and all of that. She was talking about how they had boots on the ground and all of that always at the Super Bowl because even back then, girls were being trafficked, right? You had young girls that was being trafficked because that's where all the money was. That's where all the celebrities was. And unfortunately, a lot of these young girls that have been snatched up was being passed around. okay, was being trafficked, okay? And so I think it's sad, when we hear, people, we see young girls and stuff on the streets. I know one of the places that they used to take them when they would first get them. This was like back in 2014. They would take them underground in Utah, okay? And they would take them underground in Utah, and this is when they would drug them up real bad and get them strung out real bad. And so people would go, well, how come they didn't call their parents? If they got you underground for 30 days, they cage them, they drug them up, and after about 30 days, they're strung out. So they don't even know how to make their way back home, y'all. This stuff has been going on for a very long time. So when I speak passionately, um, about what's up, the Godmothers podcast. Y'all make sure y'all go over there and subscribe to the Godmothers podcast straight from South Memphis. That's Vanessa. Y'all go over there, subscribe to her, get her up to 1,000 subscribers so that she could be monetized. Okay. I think right now she's like at 100 and something subscribers, but I want you all to go over there and subscribe to her. Okay. Um, And so when people talk about, so I was talking about Utah. So that was happening in Utah. I can remember a case that we had with a young lady named Destiny Butler. Okay, a young lady named Destiny Butler, and her mother somehow had gotten in because she could not get any coverage at all. And she saw me, I don't know, I guess because I was involved in a lot of groups and stuff as it had related to that. And she saw that I had a TV show, and she was like, I know you way in Tennessee, we're way in New York, but I'm desperate, and I want, nobody is talking about my 13-year-old child has gone missing. Yeah, you know what, NBA young boy is locked up in Utah. Was he living in Utah? Was he living in Utah? And she says, but them her she had a determination, and that lady is still in contact with me now. So what ended up happening was that was before, I guess, social media was really popular. Okay. And what they was doing, they had a lot of chat rooms. And so Destiny was going into chat rooms, and she thought at 13 years old that she was chatting with a 14-year-old boy. So what ended up happening was um the 14-year-old boy, we found out later that it was not a 14-year-old boy. He lures her, he tells her, I want you to come to Detroit. So she, being 13 years old, she ain't thinking. She don't know any better. I want you to come to Detroit and visit me, and um I want you to meet my family. So she don't understand that a 14-year-old boy wouldn't have any money, right, for bus tickets. So he buys her a bus ticket. She said, I remember that girl, Phoenix. I did a right. Her parents. That's one of the young ladies. The Phoenix Code, and her parents used to come from Missouri to Memphis. As a matter of fact, they came 4 times to get coverage on that case, right? Because they couldn't really get into coverage in around the St. Louis area. Shamika Kazi is another one that I covered from out of St. Louis too, that has never been found. But anyways, Destiny ends up in Detroit. I do a show on it. The mother calls in. I do a show on it. And around that time, I didn't really know a lot about YouTube. You used to could look at the demographics, okay? So Destiny's mother, who was barely making it, okay, ends up hiring this private investigator from out of New York. and she was like, I'm pretty desperate. I mean, he worked with her on the payments and stuff. She's you know, calling into different shows, and she says, we have reason. The private investigator got a hit some kind of way that she was still in the Detroit area. And so the private investigator, Jason, very gorgeous guy, okay, gorgeous guy, um, flies out to Detroit. He happened to find Destiny. When Destiny got to Detroit, this is a 13-year-old girl. She gets to Detroit, thinks she's getting ready to see a 15-year-old boy. And the first thing they do is hold her captive, gang grape her, okay, put her in a cage because she, to break her spirit, didn't feed her for days until she started to comply, and then started um drugging her up. So when Jason gets out there, he finds her. They work with somebody. I got to reach back out to her mother because they work with somebody that was able to get a hit. A lady who now kind of work with families that used to be a computer expert that work with the government. Okay, so they start working with her, and Jason goes out to Detroit, and he finds her. They got her on the corner. Um she says, Jason says that when he would try to get her off of the corner, she would run from him. She would run, right? By this time they had gotten her strung out because she was gone for all of 6 months. So they got her strung out real bad. And so, because her mother had a determination, Jason, being such a good investigator, they they was getting too hot, right, on them. They sell Destiny. They sold her. That group of traffickers sold her back to New York, to a small city in New York, upstate New York, that is a college town, and they sell her to um a man who is a politician. Isn't that something? To a man who is a politician. And so Destiny had developed like Stockholm syndrome. She had developed like Stockholm syndrome because this man, even though he was in his 60s, he was treating her better than what the guys in Detroit had done to her, right? So he ended up putting her on Backpage. This how I'm telling y'all what's going on YouTube it's gonna be the biggest bust. I can confirm that on YouTube, just like it was on Backpage. Okay. Um so that's why I don't even worry about it. And it ain't nothing to worry about because it's gonna happen. And so anyways, they had put Destiny on, he started putting her on Backpage, and I guess during that time on Backpage you could look at acts, SEXUAL acts and all of that. I kind of want to show you all Destiny's picture, and she looked like a baby. Destiny looked just like a baby. So you could never tell that she was not, you could tell that she was 13. As a matter of fact, she looked younger than 13. And you know what's so sad? The guys in Detroit, Destiny was so scared. She had to get counseling when they finally got her. So, the police went to the guy's house in New York, and he told the police he didn't know her, he didn't know the girl and all of that. I'm trying to get to her picture. And so what Jason did was, because of the person that they work with, that have, that was a really good with IT, that was very tech savvy, that had worked for the government. They knew for a fact that she was there. They had found her on Backpage. They knew that whatever they was uploading from Backpage was being uploaded from this guy's Wi-Fi. That's his house. That's why I know they could, you know, anything can be figured out. And so Jason goes to the house and say, I know that she's here. You got 5 minutes to produce her, or else we're gonna tear the damn house up. So it was the private investigator that she hired that actually got her child back. Destiny had to go to counseling for several years, okay, because she had Stockholm syndrome. The politician didn't do not one day. He didn't do not one day. And the guys from out of Detroit, Destiny's mother says to this very day, because they put so much fear in her, and that's been since 2015. They put so much fear in her, she still won't tell who they are. Okay, she wouldn't tell who the guys from Detroit was. That's how much fear that they put in her. I'm trying to show you all how she looked when she but I'm talking about that to say, even when I started, you know, really getting involved in this, like back in 2014, it was bad. It's about 50 times worse now than it ever was back then, right? So that's one of the reasons why I always say we cannot afford to defund the police. Okay, we can't. We got to have good police officers. They are very much needed. We just cannot have a lawless society. Here it is, right here. If I can. Hold on, you all. Yeah, y'all, it's getting stuck. Hold on. It just shows the decline of morals in our society today. Absolutely. You know, that 40-year-old businessman that's sitting there using the young girls. What about his daughter? You know? Well, that's the problem. He probably is. Molesting his daughters. I mean, but that's a whole nother subject. Hold on, y'all. I don't know why it's getting stuck. I wanted to show you all how she looked. Hold on, you all. Decline of morals in our society today. Absolutely. You know, that 40-year-old businessman that's sitting there using the young girls. What about his daughter? You know? Well, that's the problem. He probably is molesting his daughters. I mean, but that's a whole nother subject. Innocence, a 14-year-old girl, Williams, and the Memphis Police Association. If you have an idea and you hold on, y'all. I don't know why it's not. Hold on, y'all. Let me see something. I don't know why it's not working right. And y'all don't be talking about me because you know what, I didn't know my dress would be that short, sitting up on that high chair like that. Trust me, the ladies, the mothers of the church called in and they told me that dress is too short. It was like a shirt dress, and when you sitting up on a tall chair, it makes you know. I wasn't trying to show all my goods. It was just that the chair was high. Y'all, this is her right here. This is her right here when she went missing. I mean, you could tell she looked like a baby. That's exactly how she looked. She looked like a baby. That's her right there. So, what they did was they took a baby and they messed her up, and even to this very day, she's married now, and she has a couple children, and she still has to get counseling. She's almost fearful to come outside. It's really just sad, you know. She's moved out of New York, and she wanted to move to um a place where it was country. I'll say that, her mother said. And her husband bought her, you know, she basically, you know, takes care of their animals. She always wanted a farm, and that's kind of what she's doing. She's living in a country place, and she has a farm, and she has a husband, and she has a couple kids. But the good thing about it is that she survived it. Survived it. The sad thing about it is because her mother still communicates with me on social media, is that she's fearful to go outside of that farm. Right? She's fearful, like to even go off of that farm. You know, so that's the sad thing about it. But unfortunately, like I said, things of this nature is still going on, right? Things of this nature is still going on, and it's worse than it ever was before. And so I think, you know, that's why when I be fussing and stuff, I mean, nobody really takes what I say seriously as it relates to that, because I kind of just be it says Miss T, them legs looking. Trust me, I got so many calls, you know, with the you know, the mothers of the church and the older women saying, "Now I like your show. I like your show, but you know, you can't be sitting up on that high stool with that short dress on." They because we almost can see up under that dress. I said, okay, you know, I remember I think it was that particular show. It is so I tell you, I think about it now. And so, like when I would come on, Thaddeus Matthews would come on right after me. And so I remember he said, I be getting he gonna say I be getting over to the studio early because he was on another network at a totally different studio. He said I be getting to the studio early so I can catch the end of Tamara's show because we be bending all over trying. We was trying to look up under her dress. I was completely like he said that on air. I was totally embarrassed. I was like, I gotta pay more, you know. Like I said, I was sitting up on a high chair because when I stood up, the dress was not that short. But you have to understand, I naturally got big legs and stuff. So when you sit down, the dress starts to slide, and I kept my legs and stuff oiled up, so the dress would be sliding. So He said, that's what I have a problem with, too much judgment. Yeah. But that's why I talk about, you guys, like with our children, like I said, with Destiny Butler, and she was talking about Phoenix Coden. It's really sad because a lot of people feel like Phoenix Coden that went missing in St. Louis, Missouri, they feel like she left on her own because she was 23. But Phoenix Coden car was found on the expressway in East St. Louis, Illinois, which what is about 15 minutes from St. Louis, Missouri. Her car was her vehicle was left running. The door was left open on the expressway. And so people think, and her shoes and her purse was left in the car. So it's obvious that she went somewhere and something happened to her. And then the people removed her from the vehicle and took the vehicle and left it on the expressway. I don't believe that any young lady would have gotten out of out of their car, left the door open, left the car running, left her purse and everything behind, and has been gone missing for almost 10 years. So, I mean, they didn't even want to really look for her when it's obvious there's some type of foul play. Her mother and them has really taken it hard because she was her parents' only child. It was Phoenix's mother and her father who I had worked with, and so Oxygen Network they did a documentary on Phoenix, and they got a young lady from out of St. Louis named Chandrea, I believe that's her name, to be in the documentary. Phoenix's mother, Mrs. Colden, said, she said, I told them when Oxygen approached us about doing a documentary. She said, I told them, get please, I would prefer that you all get Tamra. She has worked with us. She has not charged us a dime. She has kept Phoenix's case alive, giving us coverage when nobody else did. I want you to work with Tamra. I would like for you all to give her that exposure. She's a private investigator that will help her business. This will be, us showing her gratitude for working with us. She says that on network, no, Oxygen Network said, okay, well, we'll look into it. She said they led her to believe that they were going to, have me in the documentary. Well, I remember on my Real Talk with Tamra page, this was around the time I was not active on that page at all. I just basically had it. I had someone to start reaching out to me, asking me about Phoenix. And I found it weird because I started looking at their page. I was like, they ain't got no post on their page, and they're asking about Phoenix Coding, but it's like they was trying to get information out of me, right? And one of them actually even requested my friendship and is still on my page, on my personal page. All this time, I had no idea that these were producers from Oxygen, right? So Phoenix's mom kept saying to me, Tamra, has any producers from New York reached out to you? They're going to be reaching out to you. I was like, no. And so she called me and asked me that several times, right? And so I later found out that that was a producer from Oxygen. They had been paying me some attention, right? They had been watching me, and they had decided because Chandrea was she had been an anchor in St. Louis that she would be suitable, right? Phoenix's mom said they said that we watched Tamara. We went. She said I didn't, because they ended up spinning everything and making it seem like that because they was, I guess they was trying to make a good documentary, but they didn't do it right. They ended up trying to spin it, trying to make it seem like it was possible that her parents had actually made her go missing. And so she said, now I see why they were saying Tamara is somewhat of a radical. We we can't do nothing with her, because they already knew I was not gonna get on camera and lie and not say anything, and I guess do somewhat of a mystery, because they don't really tell the truth on these documentaries on these major networks. What they do is they like to try and spin stuff to keep the audience engaged, right? And so she says that so basically that's what happened, right? And so later on, what they did was they wanted some footage because I had ended up getting an interview with the police chief of St. Louis, and they couldn't get an interview with him. Okay, but he called in and gave me one. I got one with the police chief of St. Louis, and I got one with the East St. Louis police chief at that time. Oxygen didn't want they didn't want to put me in the video. You know, they gave it to Chandrea, I guess, because, and no offense to Chandrea, according to Phoenix's mother, they said they because they wanted to spin it and tell lies, they felt like she would be an easier target. They knew I was gonna call it out. Well, no, no, that's not what happened. No, them people ain't had nothing to do with that. They was not gonna get me to go along with that bullshit. Them folks had already been through enough just for a good mystery, a documentary that they wanted to put on there, but they didn't want to do it right. Hell, if you're gonna get a folks exposure, they already going through hell. Why don't you do it right? Okay. Um, but anyways, they had reached out to me. Hello, pink dots. They reached out to me. They finally reached out to me later and they was like, who do we need to speak to about getting a video that Miss Real Talk with Tamara's show did with the police chief of um St. Louis in the East St. Louis, Illinois. Is it the East St. Louis, Illinois police chief, right? That was like, what do we need to do to license that? And I didn't know a whole lot about that because I think about that now. I could have let them license it, but because they was very pushy about it. They sent me the paperwork, and they was like sign off on it, and I ended up I had a attorney Walls was my attorney back then as it relates to contracts and stuff like that, because she did all of my contracts and all of that. And she was like, no, you don't just let them license your stuff like that. They need to be talking about some type of negotiation because they wanted to own the video, I guess. They didn't want to put me in a damn shit, but they wanted to get what the police chief of St. Louis and the police chief of East St. Louis, Illinois had said because they couldn't get the damn interview. And they called me and I did the interview with them on the phone and they gave me a damn good ass interview and they wanted it, but they didn't want to put me in the show because they said that I was too outspoken. That's because they wanted to tweak it and spin and lie like the girl parents might have had something to do with it, but you want to use my shit and I didn't give it to them. Let's see. It says Angel the Real Boss, Dotson Jones. Anyways, I know people say I would have got those coins. I would have got those coins. No, I can't get them. I can't. No, I was not gonna do that because based on what the chiefs of both of those departments has said, she actually went missing in her car was found in East St. Louis, Illinois. She lived in St. Louis, Missouri. Okay, so when she left home, she left St. Louis, Missouri. The car ended up being part of on the expressway in East St. Louis, Illinois. And based on what those police chiefs said, it was very conflicting. Of course, they wanted to use their footage because based on what they said, they wouldn't have been able to tweak it more to make it seem like that the girl left home on her own when we all know that she did not leave home on her own. Somebody made the young lady go missing. Hey, Blazy Face. Is it Blazy Face? they wore short skirts. She said they wore short skirts too. That's how they got their Vanessa said the older women, the mothers of the church used to wear the listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I've heard the mothers of the church talk about how they was when they before they got saved. When I tell you those women, they have I can't understand how they can be so judgmental because these are ladies now in their 60s and 70s talking about how God, was able to redeem them and this and that, when the truth of the matter is they might not be whoring anymore because they got old. But I mean, they talk about how they got their husbands and child, don't it's some things that people do, and they do it under the guise of this is God's way. They do some twisted stuff, and I'm telling you, like it could almost be very what's the word that I'm looking for? Very unmotivational if you're not careful, right? If you don't have a clear understanding up for yourself. And because I will say this, I remember when I was going to the all of the conferences because I always wanted to. I just I was going to the conferences because I was searching for something. I even went. Listen, y'all. I went to a conference recently. Like, oh, it's almost hard to talk about because it could be very discouraging. He says, I'm extremely impressed by that, Miss T. Did you major in media in college? When I first started going to college, I majored in speech and theater. And then I ended up getting pregnant when I was in college. And my mama was like, I think you need to change that major because, you're talking about once you graduate, you want to go move to California because that was my plan. And she says, but now you got a baby inside of you and you need to major in something that's going to be steady for you and that baby. And so I ended up changing my major after I started working for the police department to criminal justice. I took so many damn classes. All I need is 11 hours. And I've taken so many classes, y'all. I can get either my major, I could either get a degree in psychology or in criminal justice. That's because I've taken every class that's out there. But like I said, at that time I was just searching and I remember listening to this first lady say, ladies, hey Goldilocks. She said, ladies, you do not divorce your husband no matter what. She said, people get married and then they get around here and they get to hollering about their husband is, they fighting and their husband is beating on them and or they mad and this and that. When you get married, it is a sin to ever get a divorce, no matter what the circumstances are. And you had so many women cheering, yeah, shouting, and I'm like, are you? Hey, I don't know. I don't know I don't know but I do know that as it relates to that, I'm not in agreement with that. And that right there, not divorcing somebody, no matter what, even if they putting their hands on you, no matter what they do, I don't believe in that. That's something I don't believe in. Okay. But that's unfortunately what a lot of people teach. It is a sin to divorce your spouse under any circumstances. And even if you divorce them, it's really a sin to get remarried. You got that right. He said a lot of people going to hell. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. What's up, the reality? Um, guys, Godmother's podcast says straight from South Memphis. You put your hands on me, you will ride in the trunk. Ain't nobody's, I'm telling you, you can't just be putting your hands on people. And I think that it's a dangerous thing to be teaching young women that you stay and endure abuse, because in God's eyes, you're sinning if you don't, if your husband has you pray for your husband if he has when he can't keep his hands to himself. You pray for him. That's what they teach you. Pray for him and you don't leave. Pray for God to take that fighting spirit away from him. I can't live my life like that. I can't. I think about, there are people that I know that are, closely related to me. And they are married to pastors, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know. The only thing I know is that, every person is different. I'll say this, every person is different. I'm just a different type of person. Um I'm different. Am I disrespectful? No, I'm not disrespectful to anybody. Okay, I'm not ever first to be disrespectful because I like to live my life peacefully. That's why I spend a lot of my time alone. But it's unfortunate that I see a lot of um I'm trying to figure out a way to say it. I see a lot of people that claim that they're men of the cloth and all of that, and they talk to their wives like they are garbage. They talk down to them. Some of their wives are so mentally messed up because their husbands, it's like they can't do nothing right. You should have did it like this. You a woman of God. You supposed to have sat like this. You were supposed to have said it like this. I ain't gonna have no damn man critiquing, especially he's supposed to be my husband. And some pastors' wives are really mentally unstable because some of them are very much verbally and emotionally abusive. Um, I know somebody who's married to a pastor, and um he'll tell her to do something and he don't give her the opportunity to do it. You gonna do it, and she'll wait. I mean, as soon as he says it, it's almost like he wants her to be doing it like 0 seconds after he say it. And so because of that, it's like she's always nervous. And if he says something, she's jumping. And it's like she can't do it fast enough. And I'm gonna tell you something about people like that. They have issues when people have family members that are like free thinkers, right? Because I'm a free thinker. That's all I do is think all the time, anyways. Because I spend a lot of time by myself, other than when I'm around my kids and my mom and stuff, right? And and people have issues when they're controlling and they see that you think for yourself, and you are a free thinker. They have issues when they have wives that they can control real bad. They already got them nervous, and you know um they have issues with them being around you because you possess a strength that they don't ever want their wife to have. When the truth of the matter is, I'm a free thinker. I'm a strong person, but at the same time, if I get when I get married, I want to be able to have fun with my husband. I want to be able to like him. I can't be with a man that I don't like first. And some of these people are married. They might say they love each other, but I don't even know if they like each other. You cannot like a person that's making you second guess everything that you do to the point that it runs you crazy. And here's the thing that's so crazy. They have the nerve to think that they are in a better position because they're married and you're not. That's how twisted people are. That's how twisted people are. And the first thing people will say is, well, such and such jealous because you married to me. And she ain't married to nobody. Nigga, I wouldn't want you if she wasn't married to you. You ain't my type. And number one, you ain't my type. Number two, you pathetic. I would never be married to a man that wanted to make me second guess myself all the time, consistently critiquing me like I'm a damn student. That's how they beat their wives down mentally, and a lot of women stay involved in that, and they think that they've won because they get to park at the front of the church because they're married to a pastor. They get to sit at the front of the church, next to their husband with a big hat on. They get to be called first lady, but mentally they messed up. Okay. And then have the nerve to think because you're independent, when I go get anything I want to get and I have fun with people, when I date people, I actually like them. I'm not afraid to have conversations with people that I like, right? You have some people that are afraid to even have conversations, and they're supposed to be in a marriage because their spouse is going to mentally beat them down, right? It's something. It really is. It's something, but just a lot of what's being taught, you know, hey, I believe in the sanctity of marriage. I do. I believe that, me personally, I do believe that the man is supposed to be the head of the household. I don't have no issues with that at all. You know, um, but I gotta like him because if I ain't happy, I'm not gonna be with him. He's not gonna make me unhappy. So, but unfortunately, people become mean and bitter and all of that because they stay in situations just to be able to have a title or to be able to say I'm married when it's not even conducive to them really mentally, you know. She's Vanessa say, well, y'all, it's this church in Memphis and I went to like this conference. One of my sisters had talked to me. I went a long time ago, and then they turned around and had another one recently. Okay, it was called. People in Memphis probably know it was called the Sexual Healing Conference. I'm not gonna say which church it was, but if you're from around the Memphis area, you know what church it was. And it was called the Sexual Healing Conference. And so my sister, oh, excuse me, who's married, talked me into going again because I went some years ago. And I was turned off, by, the pastor bringing a bed in the pulpit, demonstrating how you're supposed to make love to, stuff. See, people try to say that I have issues with stuff like that. It's normal. I have issues with it. Well, you just have issues with it because you ain't got no husband. That's what they try to throw up in my face. Oh, well, you don't understand. It's normal. You just don't know because you ain't got no husband. Now, it ain't nothing normal about a damn pastor bringing a bed in the pulpit trying to tell married people how they need to be making love to their wife and how they need to finesse their wife. If you need your pastor to tell you that, you don't even need to be married. Okay. But anyways, y'all, e- some of these women, but hey, to each his own though. I don't know. The only thing I can say is I don't even know how we got on this topic. It must be something in my mind. The only thing I can say about it is there's just I'm different. Nobody, he said that's some sick, yeah, that's sick. Nobody could ever tell me how to make love to my husband. And if my husband need a pastor to tell him how to make love to me, he ain't gonna be my husband anyways. Because what I need with him, I just can't believe people actually. Oh, mm, mm, mm. I don't want to say nothing. I don't want, I know, a lot of people be, it ain't that many people on here tonight, but it ain't no telling who is on here. Folks be in the bushes looking at you, and then they be, you talked about me. I ain't, look, okay. I ain't, look, I have not said anything about nobody other than, hey, each and every person have different relationships. Okay. That's my relationships. My relationship would be different than some because I don't adopt a lot of stuff. Okay. Thank you. And what the F sounds like he want woman fans in the church. Damn, laugh out loud. Where they do that. It's one thing when a person does it, it's another thing. I think the thing that really surprises me is how people blindly just follow folks, without a question. They don't question stuff. They just blindly just follow people. Like it's okay. Like it's not okay. Look, I don't know. Mm, mm, mm. But they sure be quick to tell you, well, you ain't gonna get married. Why? Why you say I ain't gonna get married? How you know? You ain't none of my God. You're not a psychic or anything. Well, in order to get married, you have to, folks tell you this, and that because they're married and they're miserable. They don't. Okay, all right. Okay, I'll talk about something else because see, I don't know who on here. I don't know who in the bushes, and I don't be one. Listen, uh, anyways, um, hey, Miss Clarinetta. I mean, I ain't scared of nobody because ain't nobody gonna whoop my ass now. But I'm just saying, people get offended about the smallest stuff, but they don't be want you to get offended when they sitting up trying to, um, child, please. Um, you all hit the like button. Checking my messages. Yeah, I got that recipe for that Italian chopped salad. Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all what I cooked tonight. I did a baked. Um, I was gonna grill them, but I was like, no, I don't feel like grilling. I'm gonna just put them in the oven. I did some baked chicken. I love thighs. I love because they they don't dry. They stay juicy. So I did some baked chicken thighs, and I love cream of mushroom. I do cream of mushroom and cream of celery, but I use cream of celery. That's what it was. I season it up really good. I'm the seasoned queen. I promise you. My food is never under seasoned. It's never salty. It's always perfect, full of flavor. And I use cream of celery, and I put it in the oven, and put it in aluminum foil, put it in the oven. Yeah, when I took it out of the oven, the chicken was falling. It was so good. The chicken was just falling off of the bone. Well, it could have been because I've been soaking my chicken and stuff in vinegar. You have to soak it in vinegar to clean it. And then I did some baked candied yams, and they were so good. And my yams are never too sweet because yams already has its own sweetness. I don't like for it to be too sweet, so I use kind of like more cinnamon than sugar. I put a little sugar, cinnamon, and nutmeg, and a little vanilla flavor. And it was so good. Oh my God, you talking about good? It was so freaking good. And I was thinking, I was like, wow, because I've been losing weight, I've been sweating. That's because I be putting the dogs in their stroller and stuff and taking them walking. And I was like, what am I gonna cook tomorrow? And so I was looking at this recipe. Yeah, I like this healthy eating too, because the food be good. Cooking at home. Oh, and here's another thing, y'all. This is what I came across. They're doing a recall on, so don't buy nothing from McDonald's. They're doing a recall um quarter pounders at McDonald's. It says is it E. coli or Ebola? Is it Ebola? They found Ebola or E. coli or something in the quarter pounders. Now they're saying that they're pulling the quarter pounders off of the menu for a little while. But I'm trying to understand if they're selling hamburgers, why would it be in all of the quarter pounders and not the other stuff? And not in the Big Macs and stuff. I don't trust that. I don't trust that. Come let us sit kneel down before him. I worship and adore him. Um, so y'all be careful about when you go order something from McDonald's. I really don't recommend it.
Man, I'm glad Kimmy paid for this seafood. We're gonna add some more butter, one diced onion. Some Italian herb paste. Don't sleep on it. So I'll take about 2 minutes and go ahead and add that freshly chopped garlic and some heavy cream. Oh, my stomach love that. Now sit that up too because we don't do no bread Alfredo. Once that sauce starts to come together, we're going.
I like Kimmy cakes. They got a recall on a lot of meat. Not only McDonald's, Kroger. Oh my God, Lord Jesus! And I just bought that chicken from the Walmart, and it was so good. Ooh, I've been soaking my stuff in vinegar. Does the vinegar take the E. coli or the Ebola? I forget what it is. It's either E. coli or Ebola. Does the vinegar take the E. coli or the Ebola out of it? I didn't know they had a recall on Kroger. Well, Lord, it's something going on. It's they weaponizing the food, it seems to me. Because I've never seen anything like this before. But they was trying to say that it was mainly in the Nebraska and the Colorado area, but I don't trust it. But tomorrow for dinner, I was looking at the this Italian chopped salad. Italian chopped salad. Oh my God, it looks so good. And I think I got the meat and the veggies that I need for this salad. Let me see. Oh, it looks so good. Mm, mm, mm. Whew. This is dinner tomorrow. I'm trying to see lettuce, olives, and I love black olives. So you get lettuce. This forms the base of the salad. Romaine, I love romaine lettuce. I got that. I got black olives, but they say green and black olives. Tomatoes. I got some tomatoes. Garbanzo beans. I've never heard of garbanzo beans. Also known as garbanzo beans, these add some plant-based protein in the salad. Peppercini, sweet mild peppers that are often served pickled. Artichoke hearts, find these in canned vegetable section of your local store. Cucumbers, I got cucumbers, I got red onions. And the meat includes beef salami or summer sausage for a salty, hearty protein source that transforms a salad into a meal. Include beef salami or summer sausage. I think I'm gonna do beef salami. I gotta go buy that though. Cheese for the best results, use fresh Parmesan cheese and grate it yourself. Feel free to omit it completely to make the Italian chopped salad dairy free. Parsley, I love fresh parsley. Look at me, y'all. I'm telling y'all what my dinner is gonna be tomorrow. Tahini, not found in your typical Italian chopped salad recipe. We love the earthly, nutty flavor that tahini adds. Olive oil, red wine vinegar, I got that. Dijon mustard, I got that. Garlic, I got that. Lime juice, I got that. Seasoning, dried oregano, salt, pepper. Woo! It just sounds good already. Got to step out for a hot. Hopefully, I catch back in time. Okay. Make sure you be careful while you're out there. Make sure you all be careful while you're out there. Hold on, you all. Okay, you guys. Um, let's see. Huey says, "Got to step out." Vanessa, you want to come up? Vanessa, what you doing? You want to come up and let's chat. Let's talk. Are you still on here? Y'all want the godmother to come up? Y'all know the godmother be tripping. Is she still on here? She said that's what we had tonight. Salad. I guess she ain't on here no more. I would be loving, I'd be wanting to know who's in the hey tyranny. She said, "Do I have any food left?" I be missing the comments. Um, let me tell you something about me, tyranny. I be wanting for people. I love to like cook and grill and have company over. And my mom was like, the problem is like you like to overdo it because I like to give people like a really good experience, but then I'm like I like to go to bed, so I start getting tired. And most people that party, they be just they second wind start kicking in like around 10 o'clock, but around 9 o'clock, I feel like you're supposed to be leaving, you know. So I get a lot of good liquor because I want for people to say, you know, she had good food, it was good liquor, we had a good time. When you gonna have the next one? Probably next year, right? But I be wanting them to remember. But the problem is that I make the experience so good they don't want to go home. People not gonna leave your house until all the liquor is gone. You give them all the food. You know they know they can't leave with the liquor. So they're not gonna leave until they've drank it all up. She said, "I'll bring the groceries." I'm gonna put something together really soon. I am. The weather has been really nice, but I'm gonna put something together really soon. He says it was a Chinese couple in Olive Branch some years ago, walking around in the neighborhoods trying to pick up kids, especially in Olive Branch. I wonder if these were probably were the same people. Tierney, what's your favorite dish that you like to cook? I've been looking at like a lot of like baking stuff. I've been wanting to get because I'm not a baker, and I've been wanting to get into that. Although I can bake cakes and stuff, there are certain ones that I know how to make that are just hits. Like I do a black walnut cake, and it's light and moist and fluffy. It's so freaking good. It is. That's like a hit that I tried one time, and it was a hit. And I make a really good strawberry cake because I put it's really easy because I make bake the strawberry cake, of course, from the box. And then I put the strawberry juice in on the cake, and then I take the whipped cream and put it on top of the cake. So it's really good. It's really light and good. People love it. She said, I love a lot of cheese. Oh, and I make very, very good cheesecake muffins. I do that like every holiday. My kids always ask me, Mom, can you make some cheesecake muffins? I always do it for Thanksgiving and Christmas for my girls. She says, I love a lot of cheese. I make a really good macaroni and cheese. I make a good traditional macaroni and cheese, and I make a really good Cajun macaroni and cheese. And I have my now the Cajun mac and cheese I make on top of the stove. I make the sauce and stuff homemade and all of that. But like the traditional mac and cheese, I bake it. I bake it, and I don't, and it be real good. But I don't care how good it be, it's still not as good as my mom's, but it's getting there. Like my macaroni and cheese is almost about to be better than my mother's. Cause I be trying like different, I love different cheeses and stuff. Like I like to try different cheeses. I'm about to get it, but I don't care how I try to make my potato salad. It's never better than my mom's. I don't even try to. As a matter of fact, I don't even want about the potato salad other than my mother's. She make the best potato salad in the United States. And her greens are really good. Nobody can mess with her on the greens. And she make the best chicken dressing in the United States. She said pastries are fun. Yeah. I've been looking at that, like finding like healthier ways of eating and it's good too, making tasty food that's healthy. I love that. But as far as like my meats, I like to grill or bake anyways, unless it's wings. I will grill some wings, but I be wanting to fry them. That's why I be looking at, oh Lord, I want to get some wings so bad. I go, God, if I buy these wings, I'm not gonna bake them because I feel like it's disrespectful because they're so expensive. I want to throw them in some hot grease. I be wanting to make some fried chicken wings, as they say. Tierney, I make a really good lasagna. I make a really good lasagna, but I'm getting to a point that I can't eat a lot of cheese because it has to, well, I can eat like sharp cheddars and stuff. When I start getting putting like that provolone cheese and a lot that mozzarella cheese and stuff, it makes me sick to the stomach, especially if it's hot. But like there are different types of cheeses that I can put on my um like noodles and stuff like that. I'm talking about like my macaroni noodles or anything else. It has to be sharp cheddar, mild or sharp. Or and there are other cheeses that I can use. Like I use a lot of that New York style cheddar. I use a lot of Munster cheese, which is really good. I use a lot of it's a oh I use a lot of Gouda. It's really good. Yeah, I make my lasagna with ground chicken or ground turkey. I don't really buy ground beef. I did buy some ground beef the other day. First time I bought ground beef and it was so high. First time I bought ground beef in uh, probably probably over a year. And I really hate I bought it now since they're talking about E. coli. And I bought it because I was like, I want to do a meatloaf. And meatloaves don't really act right with with ground turkey anymore. She said she don't like mozzarella. Yeah, people be liking that stringy cheese, but it makes me sick. I cannot eat a lot of mozzarella. I can't eat a lot of provolone. I could put it on a cold on a sandwich, but not a whole lot. I can eat sharp cheddars and it's good. It doesn't make me sick. But I was like, I want to make me a meatloaf. I haven't had a meatloaf. Meatloaf and mashed potatoes, garlic mashed potatoes, homemade from scratch. And so that's why bought that ground beef. But I have not bought ground beef probably in over a year as I can remember. I'll leave it in the Thanksgiving is coming up, so I think I may want to do like a French onion meatloaf for Thanksgiving. I think that's what I'll save it for. I saw that recipe on YouTube. I'm doing a French onion meatloaf. That's what I'm doing. I know the girls like my honey garlic chicken. So I'm gonna do that for the girls. They always request that I make um lasagna, and they like my banana pie, and they like my cheesecake muffins. So that's what my girls always require. Lasagna, banana pie, cheesecake muffins, and I'm gonna do a Lipton onion meatloaf. And I always smoke a turkey. I put the turkey on the grill at night. I season it up really good. I put the butter on it, put the seasoning on it, and wrap it up really good and let it smoke all night. And then by the next morning, when I go get it off of the grill, the meat be falling off. I put a I put an apple, an orange. I inject it real good. I love it. I do that turkey so dirty. I put all of the seasonings on it, put the butter on it, put the seasonings on it. I inject it about 15 times. I try to inject it in every spot. And then I put an apple, an orange, a peach, anything that could fit up in it. I put it up in there. A lemon, a lemon. Oh my God. My mama said, "There's something wrong with you. Why you do that turkey like that?" I said, I love it. I be so happy when I get my turkey. When it's time to buy a turkey, my mama said, please don't buy no turkey for Christmas. If you're gonna buy a turkey for Christmas, then don't buy a turkey for Thanksgiving because I can't take you in your crazy ways with how you do that turkey. I'm telling you, I inject it with that Cajun garlic butter, and I be injecting it all in the top. I be trying to fill it up everywhere. What's up, Cypress? What's going on? Mm. She says she eat hen. She don't like turkey. Hen is good if you smoke it. I like to smoke mine. Hen is good if you smoke it. But I think I'm just gonna do my Lipton onion meatloaf. Of course, I got to do my banana pie for the girls and the cheesecake muffins. And I always have to. They always want their lasagna. I'm just gonna make the lasagna smaller. I'm gonna see. You know what I was thinking about doing? I was like, I think instead of just doing a regular lasagna, I want to do a lasagna soup. And I was thinking, I wonder how the girls would feel about that, but they're not gonna have a choice because they don't tell me what to do. They want lasagna. I'm gonna give them a lasagna soup because that'd be easier for me. He says rotisserie hen is fire. Mm, I tell you, I sure got a long day tomorrow. I'm gonna try to make it a short day though. I got a long day. I do that to myself because if I had not gotten caught up on one thing today, I could have split it in half and not had a long day tomorrow, but I didn't do right today. So I gotta make up for being working all day tomorrow. And I do mean all day. Mm, mm. Would y'all like to hear the sounds of the water? I love the peace. I love like I don't see some people have to be around somebody all day, every day. They like talking to somebody, they just like being around people all the time. I like being around people sometimes, but for the most part, I love my peace. I do. I love my peace. It says, can you worry about tomorrow on tomorrow? Catalina says she's getting ready for bed. I tell you. Yeah, I know I cannot sing, okay? I'm looking at something. They said election. Did you all go early vote? They said election is in 2 weeks. Did you all go early votes? Regardless of who you vote for, make sure you get out and vote. Exercise your right to vote. That would be a beautiful thing. Hold on, y'all. How long we been on here? Been on here an hour and 44 minutes. I'm going to vote on Monday. And make sure you all exercise your vote. Regardless of who you vote for, that's your own business. Make sure you're voting for the right reasons, according to what you believe, and and make sure you vote. Like I said, just exercise your right to vote. You know, JT says anybody but that skunk Trump. Oh, oh my God. Catalina Lee says you need to be tucked in. And Catalina Lee, you need to. Oh, Lord, Cypress. Cypress is such a womanizer. Oh my God. Now he trying to holler at Catalina Lee. He trying to holler at Catalina. Cypress, you is too much of a womanizer. He said Cypress TV for president. JT says, is there any reason Trump ain't in jail with Diddy? I don't know. Mm-hmm. Um, anyways, you guys, I enjoyed being on here with y'all tonight. I really had just wanted to talk about the missing children, as because that's something that I want us to get more into engaging in and talking about. I know for some reason, even though it is so important, people don't like talking about that. Even though it is affecting some us, it's affected. It can affect everybody. So that's just one of my passions, and like I said, I think we need to talk more about that, especially when we start talking about it's a lot of other stuff. Hold on, y'all, somebody just called. Let me see who this is. Cypress, was that you? Let's see. Hello.
Yo, what's going on?
What's up with you?
What's going on? Yeah, man. Cypress TV for president. First thing you know, forget what I'm doing. I'm putting the stimulus package together for the double bill.
Oh Lord, they already got 2 minutes packages, stimulus packages where they getting off. There ain't nothing wrong with telling.
Listen, the way I grew up.
Mm.
If you a civilian and you go tell me, but if you a civilian and you tell me,
You said ain't no real nigga shit, huh?
you already committed crime. Really shoot at all. But if you was civilian and you talk to the police, you don't do no crimes, and you just water your flowers and go to work, come home, check your mailbox, and watch TV for the rest of the night till you go to sleep, and you tell me it's totally different.
Oh, okay, so it's different.
Cause you ain't committing no crime. like it when niggas be out here committing crimes and want to get on stage. Now, nigga, you get the crime and do the time. Which I don't with jail or nobody. But I'm just saying, don't tell no nigga, man, just keep it 100. You get the crime, nigga, do the time.
Okay, so you saying basically the ones that's doing the crime should just take it by themselves.
When you a sound man, you out here making a decision to go through crime like that, you know what I'm saying, like a real nigga supposed to. Don't go telling no nigga no nigga up under the bus.
I tell you.
See what comedians did?
So you think what Cornelius did was wrong? Yeah, I'm talking about as far as telling.
He need a killing, so he took down that penitentiary.
So what you think about straight drop?
Well, eventually they gonna use them too much, and the feds didn't want them to talk about, and use it to make him talk. But if he do it, nigga deserve to kill it too. I ain't backing down, brother.
Well, if he, you know, it ain't no telling how this gonna turn out, depending on how many bodies come up. Well, they probably will, because they're probably gonna talk about us sticking him in the arm.
It'd be a cold game. I won't be surprised, but it'd be a cold game.
Normally, that's what happens when you start having all them bodies to come up. They start talking about sticking you in the arm.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it's a cold game out here, man. But now, what Canadian need to kill him. Yeah, and quick to be putting down the flight of stairs too.
Lord have mercy.
Take that so be right with you. He need to be putting down the flight of
stairs.
He keeps showing up in my people that know on Facebook. I ain't going for it, Quick. I already know what you're trying. I ain't going for it. I ain't going for it, Quick. I'm not taking the bait. I don't know.
You ain't taking what? So who you think quit trying to get to take the bait?
I don't know. You watch it. I've been letting no company. I know you watching, Quick.
I don't know why they be looking at my show.
He showed me showing up in a couple places. I'm like,
wait a minute, where he been showing up at?
I'm like,
he been over there on Stan G. He been over there on Stan G channel.
He be everybody.
Do we say anything?
I never seen him say nothing. Well, I haven't seen him say nothing. I'm quite sure he got some call like, hey, nigga, you better. You know how the nigga live.
Well, Stan G ain't scared, because Stan G said he want to have a face-to-face interview.
No, that nigga don't. No, he don't. He lied. He just want to make himself feel good. He lied. We know better. And the gig is up. We love you, but the gig is up, right? You do not. I'm good on everything, though.
I was looking at Stan G for a few minutes earlier today. I don't know what he was talking about, but he was live though.
He probably don't know what he was talking about.
I said I wasn't in there long enough to figure it out.
I know you weren't, because you probably.
What you say? You be talking in circles? I'm gonna tell you something. I get so tickled now. Stan G be talking to somebody. Don't when he pull out that notepad, when he restart reading from that notepad, you already know he been talking to somebody. That's when you better listen. What loop he in? What? Stay on good terms. Stan G ain't did nothing. Stan G ain't did nothing to you. He ain't did Stan G ain't did nothing to nobody.
I ain't say he did nobody, but we
Y'all be arguing. What y'all be arguing for? Well, if they don't want him, if they don't want him to sell some stuff, they shouldn't tell him. They when they tell Stan G, they know he gonna. They tell them for him to tell it. Well, they know. They know when they tell him. They already know. Well, they were. I think quite a few people. I think quite a few people that be telling him stuff want him to say something about it because they want him. They want to be vindicated. They can't come out and they can't say it. So they, I think they want Stan G to say it. Hmm.
So of course they can come out and say it. They somewhere probably still in the hood. And can't get out. No, but the reason why Trump ain't went to jail, because Trump got to be president and partnership, man. Y'all better look at the game behind these white You mean they gonna let a nigga be out with 34 felony charges? A nigga gonna be in jail with one. Come on, y'all.
Yeah, see how they did that guy that was the owner where he sold it, Abercrombie and Finch. He got basically the same charges Puffy got. They let him out on 10 million. The feds got him today and let him out on a $10 million bond.
But he got the complexion for the connection. Oh, yeah, that ain't no crap. we know how they get down. He got the complexion for the connection. Y'all know what that means. Trump gonna be president and Trump gonna pardon himself. Y'all, they playing this shit right in y'all face, man. Ain't no nigga finna have 34 presidents and run for president. Ain't no nigga finna have 34 presidents and be free. Okay, so. And then, I just want mad about black people. I mean, y'all trying to get behind a woman that don't even want to be black. They want to get pregnant.
I tell you.
You don't want nothing to do with that. But you know, the kid is up though, y'all. That's why
Trump had locked up. He could be president of partnership. Why? They just playing this shit out, man. The white look too
Mm. Anyway, Cypress, I'm going to get off of here because I need to. I'm tired. I need to go ahead and take my shower so I can get into bed. Okay, hon. Bye bye. All right, you guys. I enjoyed being on here with you all tonight. Okay, it's been real fun, but I got to get off. I'm tired. I got a long day tomorrow, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get on tomorrow. But if I feel, if I get home like a little early tomorrow, or if I could sneak a video in while I'm out, working, I'll try and do that. Okay. But anyways, I appreciate you all. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Okay. I love you guys. I'll talk with you later.